Hello and welcome to my channel, Gamma University. So nice to be with you, and I hope you're all doing well and you've had a great week. Today, what I want to discuss is personal development. Personal development has been a concept that has been on my mind for quite a while, and I've actually been practicing it over the years. And I believe anyone who's willing to seek growth and develop themselves needs to take personal development much more seriously. But when you talk about personal development, what exactly do I mean? Well, the Wikipedia puts it this way. You're looking at activities that enhances your potential and enhances your, human capital as well. And also potential to be much more employable and have a better quality of life. So if that's the case, what are some of the activities that you can actually do to enhance your potential and become much more useful and relevant or achieve your goals and aspirations? This takes me to one of my mentors. You know, with personal development, I think it's great to have a mentor. And I've had loads of mentors. Some of them I know, most of them I don't. And I say I don't know them personally, but I've read about them and I've watched some of their videos, which in the years have been very, very helpful. And the learning that I've gained from these videos and the books that I've read is what I want to share with you. One of them is Jim Rohn. I'm not sure what you've heard about Jim Rohn, but unfortunately he passed away roughly about 3 years ago. But then Jim Rohn came up with very intriguing concepts here around personal development. Most of you may have heard it before, but I just like the way he puts it. He talks about the seasons of life. Life is just like the seasons, or activities or business just like the seasons. Now, depending on where you live, if you live the northern hemisphere, you're going to have 4 seasons. But if you live in the southern hemisphere, then most likely you'll have 2 seasons, which is mainly either the dry or the wet season. So if you live in the northern hemisphere, well, you're going to have winter, spring, summer, and the fall. But Jim Rohn makes a valid point here and talks about if you really want to master personal development, we need to look at life seasons. Now, I know if you're religious also, religious content and books do talk about that. The Bible talks about seasons, the seasons, there's time for everything, and based on your various religious background, I'm sure you'll be able to, understand what I'm trying to say from this perspective. However, winter time, if you are within the northern hemisphere, is classified a time where things are very difficult. Winter of discontent, winter where you've lost your marriage, winter where you have trouble at home, trouble at work. It's kind of the difficult period in our life. So the question is, how do we deal with that? Well, one of the great lessons Jim Rohn talks about is that during the winter time, during the difficult time, it's really important for us to become much more stronger and wiser. To become stronger and wiser. Well, what does that mean? Does it mean that you have to wish away all the hard times that you're going through? Not necessarily. The argument here is this: the seasons are set. You're always going to have winter, difficult times, but before the difficult times, there will always be an opportunity, fall or spring. Let me put it that way. Springtime is where you have your opportunity. All right. So if that's the case, if there's going to be an opportunity after a winter, or after every recession, there's going to be a boom, then it means that we ought to look ahead. We ought to ensure that we can prepare ourselves. We can become much more wiser and stronger. Learn from the experiences that we're going through, so that when the opportunity comes, when the next season comes, we can take it. Because opportunity is always going to come, but you only see the opportunity when you're prepared. Sometimes people say you're lucky, but why do they say you're lucky? I put it this way, and I've stated this as well. Luck means you are prepared and you've seen the opportunity. So anytime you're prepared and you see the opportunity and you take it, because people do not see the preparation that you've made, they say you are lucky. You get what I'm trying to say? So What I'm saying here, therefore, is that winter times, the difficult and challenging times, are really the time for us to become much more wiser, learn from it, learn from the experiences, learn from the disappointment that we're going through, and begin to think ahead, about something positive happening, the opportunity that will come, and get ready for it. Because if you do not prepare, you're not going to see the opportunity. And opportunities to come for a short period and then off they go. So if you want to take that opportunity, just look at the seasons where you are. And what happens after springtime? Again, if you're living in the western, northern hemisphere, after spring comes summer. What does summer signify? Summer's when everyone seems to be happy. We all, go out, try to have fun, enjoy the weather. And it's because we've taken opportunities to enhance ourselves. We want to really embrace the day. But in relation to life and personal development, summer times also can be a time where, others can attack. When you are enjoying life, that's when others can also, become a bit more jealous, and they want to take advantage of, the ideas and concepts that you have. So it's really important that during the summertime, you protect your crops. I mean, I've grown in a farming area before, and I've planted, maize. And in those areas, mostly in Africa, we do not have the four seasons. It's mainly the dry or the wet season. And you need to plant during the dry season so that when it starts raining, and anticipating of it's going to rain, at least you can take advantage of the situation. But you also need to ensure that when your crops are growing, they are protected. So sometimes put in a scarecrow just to scare away the bats, from coming to take advantage of the opportunities that are beginning to emerge. And it's the same with personal development here. When your ideas and concepts are beginning to emerge, talking about the summertime, you will have other people who may want to come and take those ideas and concepts away from you. But the key is to be able to protect that, so that you don't let others take advantage of you. Then, of course, fall is where your harvest comes in. That is when you enjoy the fruits of your labor. That is when all the sacrifice that you've made, becomes fruition. So if that's the case, how can you learn from this experience? What is it that you can take away from this experience of life's lessons? And most especially if you live, within the African continent, let's put it that way, where you only have 2 seasons per se. What do you do when times are really tight, dried up, when it's really hard, when you cannot make ends meet? What skill set can you develop? And I think this is where personal development comes in. Because one of the lessons I learned, that if you want to change, if you want a better outcome, if you want to see the fruition of your labor, then you need to change on your philosophy. What do we mean by that? Your philosophy forms part of how you've developed. It's your worldview, your personal view. It's more about how you see the world up to this stage. If you see the world as a place where the world owes you, then that is your philosophy. If you see the world as a place where you can make a difference and you can, bring about change, then that is your philosophy. So here, what I'm talking about is, if you really want to make a change in your life and you want to go forward, you need to look at your philosophy. What is your philosophy? Does your philosophy require you to add value? Does your philosophy require you to take value? What is your concept about time? Do you think time is money? Do you think you get paid for time? Or you get paid for results? Or you get paid for the value that you actually bring to the workplace? Now, having a better understanding of this, I believe, changed your life, and it did change my life as well. Because when I understood that you actually get paid for the value that you bring to your workplace, or you actually get paid for value that I bring to others, I began to look at what is the best way in which I can add value to what I do and get the rewards. And this is why I'm sharing this video with you. I want you to be able to look at personal development as your responsibility. Look at your philosophy of life, philosophy of yourself, philosophy of how you learn. Do you think you are responsible for your own learning, or others are responsible? And personal development is not something that you do today, it's a lifelong event. You have to experience this every day and do it all the time. You set goals for yourself and you work on achieving those goals. And when you're successful, you learn from them and then you move on. But you want to set new goals so that you can become better. So here I'm talking about increasing, growing in your knowledge, growing in your skill set, growing in whatever you do. And if you look back at, the definition from the Wikipedia of personal development, talking about activities that we do. Some of these activities can be physical, especially let's say you want to lose weight, then you're talking about, jogging. Some time ago I used to weigh quite, heavy, and I lost some weight. With COVID, well, that's my excuse. With COVID, I've put on a lot of weight and I've started again. I'm just starting again to jog and then, be able to work myself and lose enough weight to an ideal size. So you hold me accountable. I've put it on record here, and let's see what will happen within the next 6 months, because I've started jogging again and I just want to stay fit and healthy. Other personal development activity can be spiritual. For others it's belonging to a religious group, or just being in communion with nature, your environment, and understanding a higher being. Other aspects of personal development is mental, and that is an area where eventually as time goes on we're looking at something around resilience, and I'll be doing a video recording shortly on resilience because I think it's an interesting concept that we can learn from. So personal development, I believe, enables you, especially if you're looking forward to growing, to take full responsibility. But it must start first with your philosophy. Your philosophy will have brought you where you are now. So if you want to go to the next level, you ought to change the philosophy that you have. You ought to change what you think about yourself, because that's the only way in which you can actually make it to the next level. So here are some of the little tips that I just want to leave with you around the concept of personal development. As you subscribe to my channel, there will be more opportunities where we share some of these. But for today, I just want you to focus on the following. Answer these questions. What is your personal philosophy of life? Second, what do you really want to achieve? Third, what difference do you really want to make in life? I believe if you answer these questions, this will just be a beginning for you on the growth to personal development. These days we have the internet. One thing I used to do some years back was create a university on wheels. What do I mean by university on wheels? Well, I literally turned my car into a lecture room, which meant that I bought a lot of CDs and audios. So anytime I was driving to work, I had an audio playing. But now, as time went on, I've moved away from the CDs. I'm now using, the phone. With the phone you have data. So what I had to do was increase my data because I had access to YouTube. And if you really know exactly what you're looking for, you can create, that university on wheels in your car. Or if you're riding a bicycle. What I tend to do is to maximize the time that I had. In driving, as a healthcare practitioner, and a senior lead, driving from one area to the other, I always slot in something. I might be listening to a motivational tape. I might be listening to an educational video, listen to an educational topic of interest. And I think over the years, having done this consistently and seeing the growth in myself, I felt compelled. I think it's time for me to share this with others. Some of you listening may be doing it, and if you're doing it, that is great. I'd like to hear from you. But have you created that university on wheels whereby you've turned your vehicle or your car into a classroom? And I don't mean, classroom in a university campus, but kind of an environment where it's much more conducive for you. So if you're spending driving, say, 2 hours, I think that's a useful time. You can listen to something positive. I know, yes, sometimes you want to listen to some music. I love jazz music, so sometimes I'll listen to smooth jazz on the background just to help me chill. But then, there are times also I feel this is really the opportunity to listen to an educational program or something much more uplifting. And maximizing my time, I think, is really, really important. So I want to pass that skill set to you and encourage you to use your driving time as a period where you can actually learn, all right, and make it much more fun. It should be maybe a video of about 20-30 minutes. It could be a video like this one, and just listen to it, because I think we do spend quite a lot of time driving, and if you're going for a walk or you're going for a jog, those are crazy moments that you can turn around. One thing I've learned also about myself in terms of getting ideas is if I go for a jog. If I go out for a jog right now, all right, especially when I'm in the mood, I just feel ideas just, come up, and I'm able to sort of see opportunities and, take it to the next level. If I'm running up a hill, I think, all right, this is a challenge. I just sort of map this hill that I'm running to a challenge that I'm facing. And if I'm able to run over the hill, I feel so refreshed that, yes, I've conquered it. Because you're going to have all those fights. There are fights within your head. You hear all those voices telling you, stop, 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 don't go. And then you also hear voices telling you, keep going. So there's an inner battle that goes on in our head. And I think if you really want to succeed, then you need to be able to overcome that. And because that is one key area that can actually bring us down. All right. So I want to leave this with you. The key seasons, as Jim Rohn has talked about, and you may have read it also. Winter times are the difficult times. So difficult times of our lives are the times when we wish to become better. We wish to develop much more muscle and become more wiser. So we can't wish that time to go, but we need to learn from it. But remember, for every winter, if you live up the northern hemisphere, there's going to be springtime. Springtime is opportunity. Currently there's COVID. We've been through COVID nearly a full cycle now, but we are in winter time. It's not going to stay very long, will it? We've got the vaccines coming, depending on your views on that. But then opportunities ahead of us. So how prepared are you to take the opportunities that are going to come? And spring is just around the corner, and it's going to come. So I encourage you to prepare. Take this moment to prepare for the opportunities that lie ahead. And when your springtime comes, just be assured that summer will be summer will also be ahead of you. And summertime, you're going to see the flowers out, the bees are going to come out, and it's going to be pleasant. But to think that your garden will not be attacked is being naive. So we need to learn how to protect the summertime, how to protect the ideas, the concepts, when they begin to emerge. When our opportunities begin to flourish, we need to protect that, so that in fall we can reap the harvest. And of course, you want to share the good news with other people. So that's what I want to share with you. The 4 seasons of life, but it begins with your philosophy. So change your philosophy, and your season will change as well. Thank you for listening. So why not subscribe to my channel, and then like the video as well, and look forward to the next video where I'll be sharing something about resilience. All the best, and have a great day.